If life were a joke, it was definitely playing the cruelest one on me. I woke up, not in my own bed, not in my own time, but in a body that felt foreign and yet achingly familiar. The first thing I noticed was the scent Alpha. Strong, intoxicating, impossible to ignore. And my heart, oh, my traitorous heart, it leapt straight to him, even though I barely remembered yesterday, let alone this strange new world. I was 21, reborn into the chaotic beauty of a small American town. The kind where autumn paints every corner with fire-red leaves and life seems both painfully slow and impossibly vibrant. And Hemi Alpha was there. As if fate had a cruel sense of humor, he was exactly as I remembered. Tall, dark-haired, and exuding a quiet dominance that could break anyone but me. From the moment our eyes met, a strange tension wrapped around us, thick and suffocating, yet sweet in its intensity. He didn't recognize Menet yet, but his presence alone was enough to make my knees weak. I had one chance this time, one chance to hold him, not let go, no matter what obstacles loomed. The first days were hell. He was distant, cautious, unknowingly cruel at times. Small gestures, a hand brushing past mine. A glance too long. A sigh that felt like it was meant for someone else set my omega instincts on fire. I was painfully aware of my body, my pulse, the scent I couldn't hide, the way I ached when he didn't notice me in the way I needed. But I learned quickly. This world demanded patience, subtlety, the art of blending into the background while plotting to steal every inch of his attention. My rebirth had given me memories, strategies, the knowledge of his favorite places, the way his lips twitch when he's nervous, the exact songs that make him hum absent-mindedly. Every little detail was a weapon I intended to use. The first breakthrough came on a rainy Tuesday. I had borrowed his favorite coffee mug, stolen, really, from his kitchen while he was at work. The scent alone made me ache, but I held it tightly, convincing myself it was just a drink. He came home early, shaking off the rain, and froze when he saw me holding it. "Hey," he said, voice low, cautious. "That's mine." I smiled, a soft, knowing smile. "I know. Thought it could use a wash. You always leave it on the counter." He blinked, confusion mixing with a flicker of something softer. That's when I knew I had a crack in the wall. Just a crack, but enough light seeped through to promise warmth. I kept my distance, but I let my scent mingle with his as I handed the mug back, fingers brushing, sparks igniting silently in the small kitchen. Over the following weeks, our interactions grew bolder. I teased, I lingered, I made excuses to touch him, even subtly. The world didn't notice, but my Alpha did. He started noticing the small things, the way I laughed at jokes he didn't even realize he made, the way my hand found his when we reached for the same object. The tension between us became a living thing, coiling tighter every day, almost unbearable, but exhilarating. Then came the first real test. A rival Alpha appeared, someone from the town who had his eyes on him, his scent mixing dangerously close to mine. It wasn't just jealousy that roared inside, might was survival instinct, primal, desperate. I couldn't afford to lose him, not again. My heart pounded, my body screamed, and I realized that my love, my desire to protect him, was no longer something subtle. It was raw, undeniable, and I would do anything to prove that he belonged with me. I cornered him one evening in the park, under the skeletal branches of the oak trees, rain dripping onto our clothes, turning everything gray and heavy. My hands found his shoulders, trembling slightly, my scent overwhelming his senses before he even realized it. "You can't." I started voice breaking. "You can't leave me out of your life. Not this time. I won't let go." His eyes widened, stormy, conflicted, and for a moment I thought he might push me away. But then, as if answering some silent plea, he didn't. Instead, he inhaled sharply, nostrils flaring, body tensing, and then, slowly, he reached out, cupping my face. I don't know what's happening," he admitted, voice rough, almost unrecognizable even to me. "But you smell like home." I laughed softly, a sound I had saved for this moment all my life. "Home is wherever you are, Alpha." The intimacy that followed wasn't just physical, it was the binding of souls, of lifetimes intersecting. Fingers tangled, hearts racing, and every brush of skin carried a promise I had waited decades to fulfill. For the first time, I felt him truly, utterly, like he could feel me too, not just as a presence, but as someone irreplaceable. Days turned into nights, nights into moments of stolen warmth. The town faded into the background as we carved our own world, a fragile bubble of touch, whispers, and laughter. And yet, the obstacles weren't gone. Family expectations, rivalries, and the constant social pressures of being alpha and omega in a world that didn't always understand kept threatening our fragile bond. But I was determined. Every setback, every cold glance, every almost failure only made me more determined. I learned the language of his moods, the subtle cues that told me when to pull him close, when to leave him be. My rebirth had given me knowledge, yes, but it had also given me patience, empathy, and the unshakable certainty that he was mine, and I his. One late autumn evening, we sat on the roof of his house, legs dangling over the edge. The town sprawled below us in muted yellows and reds. He leaned against me, and I let my hand rest over his chest, feeling the steady thrum of his heartbeat. "I don't know how to say this without sounding ridiculous," he muttered, voice soft, almost shy. "But I feel like I've known you forever." I smiled, resting my head against his shoulder. "Because you have Alpha. In some ways, longer than either of us can remember." His laughter was quiet, a soft rumble that vibrated through me. And in that moment, surrounded by the colors of a dying season, I realized that all the pain, all the waiting, all the heartbreak of lives past had led to this. I wasn't going to let him go. Not this time. Not ever. Even if the world fought against us, even if every force conspired to pull us apart, we had this moment. We had each other. And for the first time, I allowed myself to believe that maybe, just maybe, love could be enough. The weeks that followed tested us in ways I had only feared in my previous life. Rumors in town, whispers of alpha politics, and the looming shadow of rival alphas trying to claim him made every step we took together feel precarious. Yet, the fire between us didn't waver, it only burned brighter, fiercer. One evening, as the first snow of winter began to blanket the streets in soft white, I found him alone in the park again, the very spot where I had first confessed my need to hold him. He was staring at the flakes falling around him, expression troubled, hands stuffed deep in his coat pockets. I approached slowly, careful not to startle him. "You're thinking about him?" I said softly, naming the rival alpha who had been lurking like a shadow over our bond. He flinched, as if I had cut straight through his thoughts, and then nodded. "I can't stop it. The pressure, the expectations. I feel like I'm being torn in every direction." I took a step closer, heart pounding. "And yet, here you are, alone, not with him." His eyes met mine, stormy with indecision. I want to be with you, but it's complicated. You know how it is, the alpha world, the politics, the judgments." I swallowed hard, feeling the weight of everything we had endured. "I know, but we've survived everything else, haven't we? Deaths, heartbreaks, betrayals. This is just another obstacle, and we can face it. Together." For a long moment, he said nothing, just let the snow fall over us, draping the world in white silence. Then slowly, deliberately, he reached out and took my hand. The contact was electric, sending warmth through the cold winter air. "I'm tired of running," he admitted, voice low. "I'm tired of hiding what I feel. I want you, only you." My chest ached with relief and longing. "You have me. I'm not going anywhere." That night, we returned to his house, hands entwined, hearts synchronized in an unspoken promise. The challenges hadn't vanished, but the bond we had forged was unbreakable. The following days were a dance of subtle triumphs and minor setbacks. Family inquiries, curious glances, and the occasional confrontations with the rival alpha tested our patience. Yet, each time, we found ways to reaffirm our commitment, small gestures of intimacy, shared laughter, and quiet moments that reminded us of why we had fought so hard for each other. Then came the day that changed everything. A serious confrontation with the rival alpha escalated beyond mere threats. He cornered us in an alleyway, snarling, eyes filled with raw possessiveness. The tension was unbearable, the danger immediate. "You think he's yours?" the rival growled, his voice low and threatening. "He's mine. Always has been." I stepped forward, anger and desperation surging through me. "He's not yours. He's mine. And if you so much as touch him, you'll regret it." My alpha's hand found mine instinctively, grounding me. He stepped forward as well, body tense but unwavering. "Back off. I'm not interested in your games. Leave us alone." The rival hesitated, calculating, and then, realizing the unyielding bond between us, he finally backed down. It wasn't a victory born from strength allenite was our connection, the certainty in our hearts that made him retreat. Afterward, we collapsed together on the steps of the park, bodies pressed close, breathing heavy. His forehead rested against mine. "You scared me," he murmured, his voice a whisper lost in the cold night. "I'm not going anywhere," I repeated, letting the words sink into the space between us, binding us tighter. The months passed, winter giving way to the tentative warmth of spring. Our love grew in quiet, beautiful ways. Lazy mornings with shared coffee, evening walks under cherry blossoms, playful teasing, and soft confessions whispered in the dark, all of it stitched together to create a tapestry of trust and intimacy. I began to see the transformation in him too. He became less guarded, more willing to express what he felt, to lean into the vulnerability that had once terrified him. And I felt the past lives, the mistakes, the losses, melt away with each touch, each shared smile, each fleeting moment of connection. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the horizon, painting the sky in streaks of orange and pink, we sat on the rooftop again, just as we had months ago. He leaned against me, hand in mine, eyes reflecting the dying light. "I was scared," he admitted quietly, "that if I let myself feel, I'd lose you, or worse, hurt you." "You never hurt me," I said, voice soft but firm. "Even when it was hard, even when it seemed impossible. You were always there. And I promise, I'll always be here for you." He turned his face toward mine, lips barely brushing my cheek. I think I'm finally ready to trust fully, to let go of everything else and just be with you." I smiled, heart full, and pulled him close. "Then let's be together. No more running, no more hiding, just us." The kiss that followed was gentle but firm, a declaration, a binding of our hearts. It wasn't just passion, it was love, patience, resilience, and hope all intertwined. Time seemed to slow, the world narrowing until only the two of us existed, sharing warmth against the chill of the evening. Life, of course, continued to throw challenges our way. But now we faced them side by side. The rival alpha never returned, either deterred by our bond or perhaps recognizing it as unassailable. Friends and family began to accept, slowly, the undeniable connection between us. And we Alpha and Omega, reborn and rebinding our lives, found joy in the small things, the ordinary moments made extraordinary simply by being together. Spring turned to summer, and with it came a sense of peace neither of us had known before. We shared laughter under the sun, long drives through winding roads, quiet nights watching the stars. Our love, once fraught with fear and longing, now felt steady and comforting, a safe harbor in a world that had tried so many times to pull us apart. One night, under a canopy of twinkling fairy lights in his backyard, I looked at Himi Alpha, my constant, my home, and whispered, "I love you. In every life, every time, I would find you and never let go." He smiled, eyes glistening with unshed tears, and cupped my face. "And I love you, always have, always will. You're my Omega, my heart, my everything." We embraced, letting the warmth of our bodies and hearts merge, the worries of the world falling away, replaced by a profound sense of belonging and love. It was a love forged in adversity, refined in struggle, and solidified in mutual devotion. The months that followed were quiet, ordinary, yet deeply fulfilling. We learned each other's rhythms, the subtle cues of moods and needs. Every kiss, every touch, every whispered word became a ritual, a celebration of the bond that had survived death, time, and fate itself. By the time the first snow of the next winter fell, we were inseparable. Walking hand in hand through the streets of our small town, we shared smiles, laughter, and the occasional mischievous glance, aware of the eyes around us but no longer affected by them. The world could watch, judge, or whisper it no longer mattered. Our hearts were intertwined, strong and unyielding, and in the quiet moments, when the world was asleep, I would often catch his gaze, the same stormy yet tender eyes that had first drawn me to him, and feel the same thrill, the same ache of longing, the same certainty that I had found my home. This time I had never let go. This time I had won. We lay together on the rooftop, staring at the stars, bodies entwined, breaths mingling in the chill night air. And in that perfect silence, filled with warmth and love, I knew that whatever obstacles the world threw at us next, we would face them together, unafraid, unbroken, and utterly devoted, because we had learned the truth. Love was not about fate, chance, or timing. It was about persistence, courage, and the unwavering choice to hold on. And that was exactly what we did every day, every moment, until the end of all things. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest videos.